Remember that record that you bought me like 2 years ago? Well, I just remembered that it's sitting in the closet. So I called you up just to tell you I've been meaning to listen to that. I've been meaning to listen to that. Why don't you come over and talk about it? Ooh, why don't you come over and talk about it?
Hey everybody, welcome to I've Been Meaning to Listen to That, the podcast where we go through albums we've been meaning to listen to and use as a conduit to learn about each other and our guests. I'm Andrew Ambrose Lee.
And I'm Michael Limentato.
And this is very exciting. We got a special returning guest from Blank Check with Griffin and David. You might know him as producer Ben, Purduer Ben, and he's also graduated from certain names like the freewheeling Ben Hosley.
Oh shit!
Ben
okay.
on Ben,
Yeah.
John Wesley Hosley.
Wow,
Ben on the
look at you.
tracks, all the and
No, keep going.
oh, okay. I'm just looking at the discography for the first time.
You guys did a
Rough
funny
and
one
Rowdy.
the
You
other
didn't
day.
write this down ahead of time?
No, I don't have this memorized. Rough and Rowdy Ben's. It's Ben Hosley. He's here. Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah.
He's
hey.
back.
Ben is back.
Yeah.
Ben is back.
Glad to be back, and I'm glad to have you young men have to listen to some of the dustiest music you've probably ever done on the show.
For sure.
I don't
for
think is
sure.
this the dustiest we've ever done?
We did like that Christmas album. What's his name? Bing Crosby. Yeah, we did Bing Crosby. So it's like an album from the 30s. But this is like 30 years later. So
Damn.
that album's not dusty though. Like this is really dusty. This is a dusty boy for sure.
Oh, so you're saying Bing holds up?
Yeah, it's like-
Wow.
And Andrew was talking about how all the opinions of
it's
Bing
my
Crosby that he
favorite.
agrees
It's
with
my favorite
still.
musician and my favorite like web searching site. So it like really streamlines what you really want to see.
Can I say something? You look
Yes.
like a Bing guy, and I don't take that personal.
Whoa. All right.
No, that
Video-
means nothing. Who knows what a Bing guy is?
video podcast now where everyone knows. Like
And Andrew loves Inside Out 1 because of Bing Bong.
yeah, I like it. I referred to him as his first name though. For
Yeah,
sure.
you're on a first name. You call me Mr. Bong.
Yeah. But yeah, like please, my father called me Mr. Bong. This is my pothead dad's name also. But yeah, we're here to talk about Bob Dylan's Blonde on Blonde. Yeah, like let's talk about Bob Dylan. Let's talk about him in a broad sense. Michael, what's your history of Bob Dylan, if you have any?
Like none. I really genuinely have a very hard time. I know everyone has kind of an impression of Bob Dylan. Like that's kind of my in on Bob Dylan, right?
Can I hear yours right now?
I don't have it finely crafted, but it's very much like, and then you do it's nothing. I have nothing.
No,
I have
no,
nothing.
no.
I have nothing.
Okay,
I have
right.
nothing. I have
It's
nothing.
kind of
What do
like,
you
well, you gotta.
Yeah. It's like Waluigi is singing.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, you're right.
It's Waluigi coded. It's very much like you're about to be punched by a bully, like you're gonna like
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
very consistent. That's not something I knew. I just knew people did that kind of as his voice in the past. I don't think I could have sang or told you. I know Knocking on Heaven's Door. Like I know it when I look at his page and I look at what are his most popular songs. Like I know some of these, but I'm not in it, you know?
Got it. That's okay.
Yeah, for sure. Like this is like for me, like yeah, like Michael said, I know the impression. I know the broad strokes of the Bob Dylan story of like he was a folk artist, then he went electric. People went mad about that. Then he at one point had a gospel album, and at one point, and now he's like kind of putting on a front, like in 2023 or so, he's like putting on a front that he's all about money. But like, I think it's a really just like an effort to just like ward off the weird hippies who like worship him. But that's really it. Like, I just know like just his reputation precedes him. I know like the reputation, oh, he's a genius. Oh, he like won a Pulitzer Prize for one of his albums. He's like
Yeah.
like a true poet, and he has that really interesting voice. He self-writes all his songs. That's really it. But what about you, Ben? What is your history with Bob Dylan, and how has your appreciation grown over the years?
So I would say I was introduced through my father, who has a big record collection and is a big fan of Bob Dylan. And I think initially he has such a bad voice, right? So as a kid, you're like, what the fuck?
It is
this?
a little what the fuck to listen to initially.
But I think truly what kind of got me, like, at least in a place where I was able to look past that, right? Surface level of judgment, is he is the epitome of cool, especially for the 60s. To me, that's a big part of, at least as someone who appreciates style, like Dylan is just one of those guys who just was the coolest. Another thing too that always struck me about him was how he is a popular musician and yet is kind of universally considered to be high art, but in a way that I don't think there's very many other comparisons. Even like, I'd challenge you both to try and just think of someone.
I don't really have, it's very hard to have a
Contemporary.
contemporary. I was just about to say that there's almost no one I can think of that's like a contemporary comparison, at least in popular culture. Like
Beyonce, because she is just, I think, appreciated by so many people, and she's done incredible work, but I don't know. It's like,
but
no
her
one.
work is so broadly appealing. Like this now to me doesn't seem as though it's like anybody could listen to this. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, I don't know if I'd play some Bob Dylan at a wedding reception, whereas I could play
Sure.
Beyonce. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Yeah. Okay. So there's that. I kind of was like, okay, this guy everyone loves him and he seems like such a true artist.
Mm-hmm.
And the amazing songwriting. I was someone who was always really interested in being a writer. And I think the writerly quality to him as just like being someone who is like really, really about songcraft in a way that, though, is different than like a Carole King who writes great songs. Sorry, Dusty reference. The listeners at home, you better put on your fucking
N95s.
This
is a 4DX experience. So like, Josh is gonna like come out the backseat.
Yeah, for real. But she's written these incredible songs, and she was like part of that sort of buildings based in, I think it's New York. Again, I'm gonna fuck up a bunch of references, and if anyone out there is mad about it, then whatever. Sorry, I'm not a fucking expert. But anyway, she came from sort of this like school of like songwriters who just wrote like incredible pop songs. But Dylan is just, he's in a class of his own. And then my last kind of preconceived notion is his early stuff is corny.
Oh, really?
Like college politics kind of stuff. Folk. Wow.
This is
Right?
the second episode in a row, 2 for 2, saying college politics as a reference point to the artist.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that with Devo?
Yeah.
Yeah, Devo is college politics out the wazoo.
Yeah, because it is. It's
No,
like,
I mean, you're right.
it's
But he
such
evolved
like
from
college
that. It
rock.
sounds like you're saying though, like
Yeah, and I mean, listen, it's also like I'm saying that, and what the fuck do I know about growing up in the '60s, which was like such a volatile time and a period in this country where there was all of this social uprising and unrest. So I think he was really speaking to what was happening in the moment. But again, I'm answering your prompt of like, what did I bring into what was my preconceived notion of this guy? I was kind of like, Blown in the Wind is like an incredible song, but when you're like 13 and you're into like ska music, you're like, this shit is fucking lame.
mm-hmm. So what was the turning point then of like, this is lame to I really appreciate it? Do you remember that?
I think it was reading music magazines and then people like bands that I was into or whatever, referencing like he was as an influence. He just loomed so large in the culture. And it was just something where I was like, my dad has all of these records of his. I got to check it out. And so I started playing his shit, and I immediately felt like it was transportative to this sort of imaginary world of feeling cool.
Okay. So then what about this record? Do you have a history with this particular record in general, like Blonde on Blonde?
Well, yeah. So, okay. We sort of talked about this in the intro. When he went electric, there are 3 records that are sort of like representative of that period. Okay. And so I want to make sure that I don't fuck this up. So I'm going to reference his discography, which is so extensive. It's like insane how many records he's put out. The 3 records are Bringing It All Back Home, Highway 61 Revisited, and then Blonde on Blonde. So I have a relationship with all 3 of those records, and I love them all. But to me, Blonde on Blonde is the one that I think I've revisited the most. And I think it's because it's the theme, or one of the themes at least, it's about relationships, and it's about the complexities of relationships, and there's like breakup songs, and it just has a real sense of humor to it. And I don't know, I think truly those 3 records are known as some of the best albums of all time, right? I mean, and that's Who Said Rolling Stone, and that's a dusty ass publication, but still.
Even though you would assume it would gather no moss.
What?
Nothing. Never mind.
No. You have to, young man, explain that to me.
You know, a Rolling Stone gathers no moss.
I think it's an expression. I've never heard it used like in a sentence in real life.
Oh my God, dude. Whoa. Hold on. Holy shit.
That's my favorite Bob Dylan lyric, by the way. Like that line.
Yeah. No, I love that.
I kind of feel like that's good. I feel like you guys are giving me a weird reaction to it that I feel like if I were to survey people, I feel like this would be fine.
Totally. Michael, just really quick, I'm just going to check in with Andrew. Can you just give me 1 second?
Okay. Yeah. I'll just.
Dude, that was crazy.
That was. I've never.
Because like, all right, I'm already kind of feeling a little bit like, I'm doing some real dad ass shit on this episode, but that was like a dad joke. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, guys.
My bad. Yeah, we just had to do a quick.
Yeah, you can uncover your ears now. Like,
okay, yeah. I was just humming.
Okay,
I was reading some old proverbs that I could bust out.
Perfect. Maybe a limerick or two, my friend.
Yeah. Oh, I got limericks out the wazoo.
Oh, yeah. To wrap up my long-winded little answer, Blonde on Blonde I sort of like revisit. And here's the thing I was going to say about this album that I think is a recommendation for how to appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's like I don't assume that everyone's going to have physical media. That's so obnoxious. Like that is not a thing that I'm not like an audiophile that's like, oh, you need to have a record player or whatever, like high-end speakers or whatever fucking shit. I just think with this album, there's something about you can't listen to it when you're sitting at your laptop or even like, I guess, headphones. I really recommend though having it play on your phone kind of in the other side of the room, because the way I romanticize this album, it came out in 1966, which I think too is like kind of one of the coolest years, right, of all time. Just like there was so much hip, cool, crazy shit happening at that moment. And there's something to me about how, like I was saying, this album feels transportative. It just like I can picture myself being in some dingy garage with this playing in the background or something. And that's what I really romanticize about this album. I don't know if that makes sense. I would like to hear
totally
your
it
thoughts.
does.
Yeah, I feel like so the first few times I listened to this, I was walking and doing errands while I was listening to this for the first time. And I found it really pleasant to listen to. I found it very like, I was surprised at like how I thought there'd be a little more like, oh, I have to get used to this. Like I have to get used to his voice and all that. But I was surprised at like how pleasant and easy it was to listen to in the background. But that's not how they originally, that the technology was not available at the time when this was made to do that. You know, like the Walkman was created in like 1979. And like people like there, I do too romanticize like, oh man, you had the vinyl and then you would like put the disc on and then you'd flip the disc over, and while you were listening you would like you would open up the big old vinyl like packaging and like look at the lyrics and look at the picture of Bob Dylan and stuff and go like, that's Bob Dylan. And like I think I wonder of like, how can you recommend this to like this generation? How can we how what's like the best way to like kind of go about that, really, in a way?
To any of the younglings,
I think it's pronounced youngings. Yeah.
Any of the youngings, you should listen.
That's me when I try to order that beer at a bar.
Youngings.
Can I get a younging?
And they're
What were you
like,
saying? I'm sorry.
Aw, he's so cute.
Oh my
But
God.
no.
Little guy, and then
You
they
can't
pat you
have
on
that.
your head. They give you a wet willy. When was the last time you got a wet willy?
Last week.
I don't know if I've ever gotten a wet willy. And I would like to keep it that way. Yeah.
It's kind of a rite of passage.
I was homeschooled, so I was left alone from the terrors of being bullied. Although that has resulted in me being a strange adult. So, you know, you win some, you lose some.
I wouldn't say you're strange.
Thank you. You
did
sound
come up
just
with
like my mom when I
Rolling
talked to her
Stone.
about that.
You did come up with that Rolling Stone joke. That was pretty strange. Like,
Yeah.
Me and Ben
I
had a
just have the
conversation about that
vibe
the
of
other
someone
day.
who was not bullied as a kid. That's what I mean. And that vibe is
He has
correct.
too much power.
It really does. Yo, your Riz is off the chart, man.
Absolutely rizzed out. Skibbity toilet.
Oh boy. What was your last point? It was probably really beautiful and interesting, but like
What was my last point? Oh, I was just saying, like, another thing. Dylan's got songs for when you got your ass dumped and you want to like feel some feels. Just grab that discography.
Harmonica.
Grab
that guitar.
harmonica.
This is some harmonica ass music. That is a theme that I'm recognizing throughout the whole album. There is.
Oh yeah.
He's got his harmonica out.
let me tell you, it's not just this album. It's kind of a lot of
It's
his music.
everything.
Mhm.
Did he switch from a folk harmonica to an electric harmonica at a certain point too?
Well, this record actually has electrified harmonica in one of the songs.
Yo, Chad, is this real? Like,
Wait, which one? Sorry.
Pledging My Time.
wow.
I feel
Yeah,
like I
at the
didn't
end of
recognize
it,
that.
There's a crazy kind of like affected sound and sort of a delay that I'm sure for 1966 or 65, whenever they recorded this, was like cutting edge technology. But it
Right. To me, that just sounded like reverb, maybe, you know, like
yeah. It's very like it's kind of almost like the harmonica, because that's the song where he and they do a harmonica solo and he just holds the note for like 20 seconds,
Mhm.
where it's like almost kind of like that's definitely one of the low lights for me, that song, because
it's not
especially
very good.
yeah, it's just kind of like you're like solos
It's-
are already kind of rough, right?
It's
But you at
harmonica
least-
forward in a way that I don't enjoy.
so harmonica forward, and then it's like at least like jam on it, but it's like instead it's just like
Have you guys ever played the harmonica? You guys are a harmonica?
I like,
yes.
I played it, but every time I play it, I get annoyed with the noises it's making. And I'm like,
it's
I
one
don't
of
wanna play
those
this anymore.
I just was so astonished when I played it as like a kid, and I still kind of am, that it's like different notes going in and different notes going out. Like it's one of the
That's
only.
kinda cool.
It's cool. They're
Mm.
cool.
They
But
are cool. They're
are
so
they-
hard to play. Like to make it actually sound good.
And not even Bob Dylan can do it, some would say.
Whoa, hot take.
Bam, bam, bam. I give Bob Dylan a wet willy right now.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
that'll take him down a peg. But
That's really cool of you to like abuse an elderly person.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well, he
you're
calls it a
tough.
wet William.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's good. That's
Thanks,
good.
Thanks.
You have redeemed yourself.
yeah. So, Michael, what do you think are some themes of this record?
There's a lot of like, I feel like it's like a lot of reflection on like hometown and where you come from on this album. Like, I don't know if that's like his usual in his discography, but I feel like there's a whole lot of talking about just like stuck inside of mobile with the Memphis Blues again. Like that one seems like the theme tentpole of the whole album. Like it's like, I am here, but I wish I was somewhere else.
Mhm.
Or remembering being somewhere and wishing you were somewhere else. Like that's pretty pervasive throughout the whole album.
Mhm.
There's a thing with older music where before America became so polarized and there was like sort of this like kind of like the coastal elite, right? The coastal states. And then it's like, we don't go into the middle of America. There was, I feel like, a prevalence of this romanticism for the vastness of this country and all of the sort of just different states and cities and terrain and just the like vastness of this country. So yeah, I think you're
Like
hitting
wild.
upon
It's like
something.
Wild West core a little bit. Like
yeah,
the John Wayne of it all.
totally. Yep. There's a lot of references to just the blues sound, right? Even like
Yeah.
there's like reference in the style of music, because there's a lot of country and there's a lot of blues, which is, from like South Mississippi. So yeah, there's just a lot of romanticism for like different places.
Yeah, I want to respond to like a few of the themes that you all brought up. First of all, the character theme. I found a lot of parallels to Bruce Springsteen. We covered him a few weeks ago. Where I think like Bruce Springsteen got the Dylan comparison a lot, especially early on in his career when he was like super like lyrical. But like he's also like he has a funny voice, like funny imitatable voice, and he's like very poetic, and his stuff is able to like
Michael,
yeah.
can I hear Bruce?
I'm on fire. That one I can do. That one's easier to conjure out of my mind.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean
cool.
to. I had to.
Never been bullied.
I had to. Clearly.
Well, yeah, especially because as an adult, like people love a good silly guy. So I can just ignore people bullying me and just focus on the people that are prodding me to do impressions of, Bruce Springsteen and be like, wow, that's the only thing I remember. And I block out everything else. I maintain I stay unbullied to this day.
This is aspirational. But like, I think the other Bruce Springsteen comparison is the way like Bruce uses characters as like a way to transfer his feelings onto characters. So like that's not me. This song's not about me. It's about this wacky guy, And then I think that's why there's like such a empathetic nature to some of the writing of these characters of just like, oh, this person's stuck in Mobile, Alabama or whatever. Is like, I think he feels that way in his own life, even though he's like living the rock star life. But I think he like feels so alone. He's like so bitter and stuff. And the other thing is like mastery of tone. Like Ben, you were talking about his like blues influence. He's also like I was expecting like a very, very serious album. Like he like that cover. So like he looks so serious. He looks, and I thought like it was going to be like super serious the whole time.
Yeah, he's wearing a serious scarf.
Yeah.
He's looking like he's going to lay down some poetry, some serious poetry.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of that, but there's also the first song is like, could not be all alone. It's like this goofy, like avant-garde, strange song that's like kind of like anti what I'd initially expect from him. With that,
it's also like about being stoned, which is like a whole other thing, right?
Smoking that reefer,
some of that marijuana.
Yeah, but he's also like.
That's kind of like the fucking Afro man of its day.
Wow.
Do you even know that reference?
No, I was trying to agree to sound cool.
Fuck. Damn it.
My references are from the early 1200s or the late 2010s.
Damn it. Yeah, that's like some aughts shit. I'm showing my fucking
Afro
ass.
man. Are you just saying like
because I got high?
Oh,
it's like a novelty like weed smoking song.
Yeah, yes. I know that song. I don't think I would. Sorry.
Okay. No. Listen, I love this.
Now that you explained it, tell the joke again. I think we'll get it.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a joke. It's kind of more just like
just observation.
Yeah,
I'll say
I like it.
Humor us though. Humor us though.
I liked it. Hey, Ben, can I talk to Andrew really quick?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
Okay, yeah. Hey, Andrew, I think we need to be a little nicer to Ben when he's referencing things we don't know about. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to like give him a wet willy. I was like, really?
Okay. Well, maybe we could turn back and maybe try to laugh a little bit more when he talks about stuff we don't know. Okay.
Well, all right. So,
okay. Sorry about that, Ben.
No, it's okay. Let me just hop off of my old timey bicycle with the one big wheel,
the big
tiny wheel. Hold on. Whoop. All right. I'm back down.
How do you get off those? By the way, I didn't see you get off of it. And I'm always interested. It seems like that would be yeah. It seems like an ordeal.
Ben, you gotta like stop like doing that like hoop and stick game while we're like recording the episode.
I know. Is that picking up on Mike?
Yeah, I know it's like the fidget spinners of the day back in the day.
But we can't hear the AC, but we can see you running around with the hoop and stick.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's like that song. That first song. It's like that. What's it like, Ben?
It's sort of kind of like the Afro Man because it got high of its day.
Totally.
Yeah. You're right. Oh my gosh. Oh,
yeah.
This guy's redeemed himself. All right. So, but yeah, like the mastery of tone of like, it's silly, it's serious. The way he uses the instruments are so lush and beautiful and like soaring and like, intimate, but also like his voice and the way he uses the harmonica. There's like a strangeness to that, but it all like he surrounds it with so much beauty that like it's really awesome to listen to. And then like the last theme is just like it feels like it's a lot about I picked up on themes of waiting, and while you're waiting, there's like he's stewing in like anger and bitterness, and he's like just like cynicism around love, cynicism around getting his heart broken, and which is why I could totally imagine like these songs really helping during a time of like getting your ass dumped as shit or whatever you said. So yeah. Any other themes? Any other thing? Yeah.
The boredom thing. You brought up you couldn't listen to this music walking around. Here's a crazy thing. People used to just be bored.
Huh.
Like people used to just sit, like literally just sit in a room, maybe listen to radio, but maybe just like sit there.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
This
Now
is like stand-up material. Isn't it weird?
What's the deal with being bored?
What's the deal with the newspapers? Am I right? Who would read those things?
The thing is, like, now if you want to be bored, you have to like guest on some loser's podcast. Like, it's like that's the way to like.
Andrew, good one. That's funny.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, Ben, that's like so like apt. I feel like that's part of the like garage playing silently elsewhere vibe of this. Is it's like this is just on. This is the music that's playing, and you can listen to it or not.
Right.
But this is your option of a thing to be entertained by, which is not bad. I actually think it's good because, you know, I saw a tweet. Oh, my famous catchphrase. I saw a tweet. I saw a tweet the other day that was like, if you guys are confused by TV shows, remember this is how it looks like when you're usually watching those shows. And it's like shows a person with like half of her monitor has the TV show on it, that she's playing a game on the other monitor. She's playing a Nintendo Switch. She has headphones plugged in and listening to Spotify. You know, it's like we're overwhelmed by things. So sometimes it's nice to see the simplicity of guy with harmonica. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like in Visions of Joanna, the backstory apparently is he wrote it during like a blackout, where today, if there was a blackout, people would just be waiting for the blackout to be over so they could like use their electronics and stuff. Where I think, it makes you think of like, how smart would we be if like we didn't have like all the information in the world all the time? You know, like what? Oh man, this is my stand-up. But any other? Let's go through some highlight songs and lowlight songs. Right after this break, click. But hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. Welcome to I've Been Meaning to Listen to That, the podcast where we go there. I've been meaning to listen is learn about each other and our guests. All right, so
have I ever told the story about veterans on the podcast before?
It's not to do with anything. But go ahead. I would love to hear your veteran story.
Thank you for your service.
Okay.
Have I ever told this story?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm gonna do it anyway. So I used to go to this cycle class all the time. And it was like every Tuesday, and it was like me and a bunch of moms. And I would go every Tuesday or every Monday, I can't remember. And I was like usually just put my head down, did the class, left. And one class, I was getting more comfortable. I really liked the instructor. She goes, "Do we have any veterans in the class today?" And I'm like, "I come all the time." me, raise my hand. And she goes, "Really? You look really young to be a veteran." And I go, "You see me here all the time." And she goes, "It is Veterans Day." And I go, "Oh." And then I got off my bike and left and never came to her classes again.
You actually you rode the bike so hard that you like rode off.
I had to go forever. I had to disappear.
By the way, like it's interesting that your spin class had like one of those like high bikes with like the big wheel also. Like it was like
I was riding one of the it was the old timey spin class.
Got it.
Wait, that should be a thing. Yeah, that's funny. Someone should do that.
The half the exercise, the 30 minutes is like getting on and off the bike. Like all right, class is over. But welcome.
Everything is like it's either that or then they take a break and like you have to throw medicine balls at each other. And you have to get into an iron lung.
Yeah.
It's like this like practice to be an apothecary, an old timey apothecary. Is that this?
Oh yeah. No, yeah. Instead of like a smoothie, they give you like dried sage.
Leeches.
Right.
Leeches.
Yeah, here, smoke this cigarette. It'll make your lungs smoother.
Oh yeah. 5 doctors recommend.
Yeah, so let's talk about Bob Dylan. Let's talk about Blonde on Blonde. Ben, what is a highlight song from this album that you really like?
My fucking favorite song on the album is Leopard-Skin Pillbox Hat.
Oh,
So
wow.
It is so good. So why I like this song is it's like kind of hard to actually even parse what the joke is, but it's like absurdist, and it kind of feels like, and I'm like gonna look at the lyrics. It starts out, well, I see you got your brand new leopard skin pillbox hat. What an opening line. Is there not any better beginning to a song than that? I challenge you to name one.
Well, like my note was like, is this the apple bottom jeans boots with the fur of the 60s?
Damn. Here's the thing. I don't know what
skin
that
hat,
means.
pillbox with the fur. You know, like that's like the yeah.
Oh, sure.
T-Pain, yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, it's funny too. I feel like it's like he's like triple entendreing it kind of with nothing, because he's like, the doctor says I can't see you anymore because of your hat. Like this other guy is cheating. I know you're cheating on me, but he doesn't love you. He only loves your hat.
Right.
Like it's very silly. It doesn't
silly.
feel like wacky. It just is like, this is a fun song.
Yeah, but it's deeper than that, because I think it's about vanity. I think it's about a character, this woman who is extremely vain, extremely obsessed with her clothes and her presentation. But I think it also is saying a lot about him. Like he's a little bit, the character in this song at least is like a little bit of sort of like a cuck, kind of.
I knew you were gonna say like a cuck. I was like, he's gonna say he's a cuck.
He's gonna say it. He's gonna say it. Cuck. He's gonna say it.
It's a catchphrase on the show. Like it's
And
like
wait, you guys say cuck a lot?
no. Your catchphrase on Blank Check.
I don't say that.
I'm kidding.
I definitely don't say that a lot.
They have T-shirts and everything. It's like fast selling out of the merch store.
No,
like I'm kidding. That's not true.
Yeah, he's very passive in it, letting her like, just like, yeah, okay, whatever.
but have you ever had a crush on someone or dated someone and they treated
And you let
like
them do
shit?
whatever to you? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
I've had
for sure.
many partners like that, and you know what they're doing to you, and yet you're just like, yeah, wow, you're just gonna treat me like this, and I'm just gonna take it.
Right, because I like the benefits that I see outweigh this bad behavior you have towards it. Like usually long term, obviously, it doesn't work out with that kind of relationship. Like because you're not going to be happy in perpetuity with leopard skin pillbox hat woman, but
But it's a fun ride, and you can always look
sure.
back and you're like, leopard skin pillbox lady, what a fucked up person. That was crazy. What was I thinking? She was wearing a leopard skin pillbox hat.
right, she's a maniac.
Do you guys even know what a leopard skin pillbox hat is?
It's the thing
like
they
the-
wore in like the 60s. Like
Yeah.
Jackie Kennedy, I think, wore them around.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was.
It's kind of almost, like a church hat, sort of.
Jackie Kennedy wears it is a perfect way to it. It would be like Mrs. Peacock would wear this.
Ooh, yeah, totally.
You would smoke a cigarette out of a cigarette holder wearing this hat.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's very elegant. It's
Yes.
elegant coded.
Also,
Sorry.
It's elegant coded, but is it elegant in execution? I don't know.
No. Well, because also leopard skin is sort of trashy.
Has it always been trashy, or like do you think when someone invented it, they were like, "Oh my god, I look like a cat"?
Let's unpack that. Let's unpack that statement. When they invented leopard skin.
Well, when they put it on a fabric for clothes.
No. When they invented leopard skin.
Big leopard.
When God invented leopard, he was like, I don't know. I fucked up on this one.
Spot's too big.
Damn.
This one's
is just
garish.
trashy. Anyway, is it lunch? All right. Leopards, they exist now.
All right.
No. That's a great question. Like, I bet like in early civilization, a leopard pelt, right? Because those are fierce ass.
Right.
beasts.
It's not boring. It's not a boring deer pelt. Like you killed that leopard. That makes sense.
That makes total sense. So when did it turn to being kind of more like Jersey Shore coated? Is what comes to mind.
Andrew hates this.
Why?
Hey, man, I'm leopard skin pilled coated. Wait.
Yeah, I'm leopard skin
Are
pilled.
you wearing leopard skin pants?
Look, I went like wow in the mirror this morning. That's what they do, I guess. So,
yeah, anytime you wear leopard skin, you have to do it.
That's how you pump yourself up.
Yeah.
That's
I
so
put myself
sweet.
up from being bullied most of my life. But what about you, Michael?
God, take away Michael's bullied, and give it to Andrew tenfold.
What, Michael? We talked about one song.
Okay, I'm going to talk about a song. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I really like "I Want You." I like how it sounds. I think it's like very poetic. This is a poetic song for sure. I don't really know what it means. A lot of this album kind of washes over me a little bit, and it's hard to parse out. But I really like it. It felt romantic. It felt sweet, and it felt like I felt the longing in it, even through the harmonica, which is powerful.
Yeah, I wrote down like harmonica equals yearn break is what I wrote down. Like just like anytime, like
what's up?
A yearn break. He's just like yearning. Like,
oh, okay.
I need to take a break in the song to like.
Yeah, let me
yearn.
sit in my feels for a little bit and play the harmonica.
Totally. Yep.
There are two modes I notice when I'm listening to this album. Like mode one is just like not even listen to the lyrics at all and just enjoy it as just sound. And then the other side is like comb through the lyrics like it's poetry class or something. And I find myself with this album like doing it for the first few verses and then like, oh shit, we're running out of time. So like I feel like this is an album you could like comb through for like years and years and just like, what does this line mean? What does this line mean? What is this? Like
that seems like him as an artist kind of thing. Not just to this album,
man.
Yeah.
This is like forever media.
Yeah, that's really hard to make too.
It's so rare for that, for especially like I'm saying like Shakespearean or Shakespeare-ass like forever. That's how
it doesn't
feel
dated. It really doesn't. Like I the sound does, but none of his lyrics are like.
It talks about it like a leopard skin pillbox hat. Like
yeah, but it doesn't sound like my grandpa singing a song. Like it sounds like this could come out today, ostensibly.
Yeah, like their line about the lonesome organ grinder cries, the silver saxophone says I should refuse you, the cracked bells and the washed out horns blow in my face with scorn, but it's not meant that way. I want you. This idea of like all the music I'm listening to and the song I'm creating is telling me to not want you, but I want you. And when I learned that was the lyric, I was like, oh shit, that's brilliant. And then 5 more verses to go. Like
Right.
and then he goes on about like politicians and like mothers weeping, saviors sleeping. I'm like, it feels like to me, it feels like watching Shakespeare. I'm like, I got that one. That was good. And then the characters keep going. I'm like, oh, I'm lost now.
It's kind of like, when you watch Shakespeare and then people laugh at the Shakespearean jokes. I'm like, you guys are actually freaks for laughing at that.
Oh man, that's some pretentious I
agree.
Is no one gonna talk about my background? Like,
what is
I
that?
like it. You're the leopard.
Yeah, it didn't crop the way I kind of wanted it, but it is like a really disturbing mannequin.
That looks like some
I can't
Hereditary,
tell that
like
it's a mannequin.
Midsummer shit like going on. Oh.
Okay, now I can tell it's a mannequin.
Yeah, but it's not hitting. So I'm gonna, now that we've acknowledged it, and I did it.
I
for
appreciate
the
that you asked for the
video
feedback,
podcast.
though.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a video, so we gotta acknowledge people.
Did anyone want to acknowledge Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan?
Yeah. Hey, Timmy. All right. So
this is maybe the most mad Andrew's ever been at me during the podcast.
I'm not mad. Like, yeah, I love what's the song called? The Stuck Inside Mobile with the Memphis Blues again. That's like my favorite.
That's
song.
my other highlight.
Yeah. Because I felt like this of just like, I think a lot of this album is like, oh, he seems like really depressed. He seems like really unhappy. And like this idea of stuck inside Mobile for Memphis Blues again, of like I remember like I moved from Champaign-Urbana to Princeton to live with my folks for like after college. And I was having like I was sad about things that happened in the town before, basically. I was like, I was having the Champaign, like I was stuck inside Princeton with the Champaign blues again. I'm like, oh man, this person I had a relationship where it didn't work out. I was like sad about that. And I was in this entirely new location. I felt so stuck. And I feel like this album does that really. Like, and like the way this character like tries to cope with like doing pills, talking to a preacher, trying to find any sort of relief. It's really awesome. Yeah, I like it a lot.
All right, so context wise, Dylan,
Bob Dylan,
was really isolated because he had
COVID.
He had COVID, so he had to isolate. That is exactly what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna keep moving. He was like one of the like biggest artists in the English speaking world. He was massive, and he had gotten almost to a place where there were like, he would leave a concert and people would like be like some rock star shit, like trying to like stow away in the car. And he I think was really going through this moment of being like, I'm this legitimate artist, and yet I'm now one of the just like most popular musical acts, like Beatles level popular. So he, I think, was really struggling with this attention. And you really sense it in the lyrics. Like he seems to really be in a place where he feels lonely. And just to add a little more context, while on this world tour in 1966, he gets into a motorcycle accident and basically doesn't tour again till the like late 70s.
Jeez.
Oh wow.
So he basically, after that motorcycle accident, was like, I'm done and I'm taking a break. And then just after being pretty prolific with his releases, like every couple of years, he started to really be more infrequent with his output. Yeah, I think it's the popularity started to get to him, which happens a lot, right? With the bands, artists,
For sure. Yeah.
solo acts, like you get to a certain place where you just cave to the pressure of it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The one more thing about this song is like he's able to like create like bohemian like Instagram captions in a way of like the line about um in Absolutely Sweet Marie, to live outside the law, you must be honest. That's one. And the line of like, I sit here patiently waiting to find out the price you have to pay to get out of going through these things twice is another. Like, just like, oh my God, that's like it's a perfect lyric. It's like, oh, he's like a symbol for a type of person that like emerged out of the movements he was creating. So that's crazy.
Another thing I noticed about this song, but it's like I wish I had mentioned this at the top when we were talking about themes. Music, old music, dusty music, they just talked about trains a lot.
It's because the harmonica was reminding them of the train.
Yeah, right. Oh, because the harmonica was a huge like way to pass the time when you were riding the rails.
With his little bindle, like
Yeah, but it's just like, why is like old music so train coded? Because we still have trains.
I bet trains are not the fastest way to travel.
Vaping replaced like
yeah.
trains.
All
content.
the songs are about jewels
Yeah.
now.
You're right. Absolutely.
I like
Vaping
that.
is the new train.
I like that when Ben's on the show, we have to like slow down. Like the show kind
Yeah.
of slows down. Moments a little more. Like
I can't say a joke without it. All of us stop. We all look towards my window on the Zoom. We all go, "What did Michael say?"
real quickly, let's do one highlight each, and then let's move on to lowlights.
Yeah.
Ben, what's another highlight you enjoy?
All right, another highlight. Let me look at my friggin' notes here. Okay, I talked about it before, but fourth time around. Okay. Let's read a little lyric from it. So, let's see. Sorry, I know this is not interesting.
We won't keep that in.
I'm pretty interested. You know, we used to be bored as, you know, in the world.
Yeah. Ben's teaching us.
Okay. Her Jamaican rum, and when she did come, I asked her for some. Okay, saucy. She said, "No, dear." I said, "Your words aren't clear. You better spit out your gum." She screamed till her face got so red, then she fell on the floor, and I covered up and then thought I'd go through her drawer. So
Okay, 50 Shades of Bob.
yup.
Yup.
Yup. So, okay. This song for me has a very particular context where I had a high school sweetheart, okay, who I, throughout my 20s, yeah, I'm not in my 20s anymore, we always kind of went through this pattern where if we both ended up not being in relationships, we would kind of like rekindle, right? And have this
Wow.
brief moment of this kind of intense kind of finding the passion again. And then it would sort of end with us fighting. And basically we would have to like face the fact that this wasn't meant to be. And yet we just kind of kept doing it over and over again, right? Have you guys ever run into this problem?
Yes.
I haven't, but yeah, I feel you.
Yes, for sure. And then ultimately, you have to work out what the issue is, right? You have to resolve the problem. Is it?
It's like the hot Cheetos, right? The bag of hot Cheetos. You're like, why did I think that this time it was going to be different?
Right.
Why are
did I
my
think this
stools
was gonna be
red?
fine?
Yeah. That's what you
That
meant,
sounds like I
right?
said after my bad relationships too.
Oh.
Mm.
Okay, no, sorry. I tried to make a stupid joke, but
No.
let's slow it down and get
We
back
can
to
all
business.
do it. We can all do it. But totally agree. I think it's very relatable. I think, well, and even then, even that, like, it doesn't even have to be a relationship. It could be like a weird friendship, like the person that you're like compelled by.
Yeah, for sure.
You're like, oh, you're funny, you're interesting, but it's like they act insane.
Yeah.
Like to everyone they know. So it's not, you're not going to be the exception, you know?
Yep.
I
Yep.
think it's also if you let each other go, like, or if you like break up, quote unquote, that means you have to like let each other go. And like there might be some comfort in like having this one person who like is a chaotic presence in your life, or who I think we're talking about this with the other song of like isn't good for you, but there's a comfort in keeping them around, even though they're causing you so much misery or difficulty and such.
Yeah. Andrew,
Yeah.
what's another highlight for you?
I'm gonna go Visions of Joanna. I really love that song. Apparently that's his like magnum opus song. Um, there's a lot of lyrics where I'm just like, what does that mean? But I love it. There's a few of those in this album of like, and Louise holds a handful of rain, tempting you to defy it. I was like, what does that mean? Like tempting you to defy it? Like defy holding the handful of rain, and what does the rain represent and all that stuff? Like I think about that. That's such a fun thing to turn around in your head. The
It's
line
so
about
dreamlike.
yeah,
The dream logic where it's
yeah.
not like it's like you kind of can maybe make you can kind of parse or try to read into the metaphor. It's not impenetrable, but you're also like, this can mean a lot of things.
Right. You can't know for sure.
And that's
Yeah.
like that's like really that's beautiful. That's awesome lyricism over there. And the line
Mhm.
about like the ghost of electricity howls in the bones of her face. I'm like, whoa, that's so evocative. Yeah, like and every time like there's like 6 or 7 verses in this song, and every time like my attention wanes or just like I don't get this quite yet, like he always brings it back to like the visions of Joanna. Like he like kind of like that's the song structure you were talking about, Ben, of just like, oh, he knows how to craft a song, he knows how to like metaphor, poetry. Let's hit him with the hook, let's hit him with like the refrain so that we're like people don't get lost, and yeah, that's my
Totally.
highlight. Yeah.
Also, okay, because we're doing highlights and we've talked mostly about the lyrics because those are so just part of what stands out about Dylan. And like, yeah, it's kind of like I would say the blues stuff, like aside from leopard-skin pillbox hat, which I just think is a banger, but it's cringy maybe at times, right? We've dunked on the harmonica a bunch, but as far as just the melody goes, right? That side of the songcraft, I mean, these are like incredible melodies that like these are like
Absolutely, yeah.
like for poetic, dense, complicated songwriting.
It will stick in your head, even
it
though
really
it's yeah.
does, you
Like
know?
my last highlight was going to be absolutely Sweet Marie, only for the fact that it gets stuck in my head. Like I'll
Nice.
think about it. I'd like my brain wants to play with it some more while I've been listening to this album. So that was going to be my second highlight. I don't want to talk about the lyrics at all.
Boom. Okay, tell me why you also like it as far as instrumentation goes.
I like that it feels more upbeat. It's like strumming. It pushes itself along a little bit more than a lot of the other songs. I think it's it feels like his band is actually playing and it's not just like him. Whereas a lot of these other songs feel a little sparser, more sparse.
I feel the same way about like One of Us Must Know, of like, oh, there's a release in that song, like it's the end of side A, and there's like some like really like chaotic lot of songs about urinating. There's this really weird avant-garde song, and then like there's like a release in the fourth song, and like that joy of like, oh, this is beautiful. So
This is like one of the first, or at least like not first, like there weren't a lot of double albums that were put out.
this might be the first rock one of all time.
Yeah, I'm not certain.
It was
But
this
I
one,
just-
then no others than Tortured Poets Society, right?
That's like a quadruple album, like octalbum, whatever. So let's go through some lowlights.
Okay.
Yeah, what's a low light?
Mine's so easy. Can I do mine? Because I only have one that I want to hit.
Do
Just
it.
like a woman. I hate in these old songs when people talk about the beautiful woman that they love who is in some way like a little girl. This happens so much in older music, and it's like, stop talking about little girls.
Yeah, that's not cool. Um,
Whoa,
yeah,
that
I
is
do-
a hot take.
Yeah. Yeah. Guess what, guys? It's bad. I'm gonna be brave and speak up on this. But it's so uncomfortable because I actually like that song otherwise. But it's just
the
like,
melody's so beautiful.
and her heart breaks just like a little girl. Like, how about you compare it to anything, like a flower or something?
Her heart breaks just like
Okay.
a flower.
All right, fuck it. I'm gonna defend it.
All
All
right.
right.
Sorry. I'm gonna
I
defend
think
it
people
'cause
should
I
think
don't
more about little
disagree with-
girls.
I don't disagree with you where like older songs, they'll like, there's like all of this creepy ass references where it's like they're talking about like how attractive a underage girl is. She was
Yes.
just 17, right?
Yeah.
Isn't
Or,
that like a really standout lyric? I forget what song that's from, but
I think about
oh,
like,
it's the Beatles.
yeah,
Yeah,
she
the
was
Beatles,
just
the first,
17.
the first
where you're
Beatles
like,
song ever. Like,
what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
if you, oh yeah, she was just 17. If you know what I mean, that's the lyric.
Yeah.
yikes.
Like that kind of stuff is so creepy. I just want to say though, to me, because going back to what I was saying about the themes of his songwriting and about this inner emotional worlds, I really feel like what this lyric is saying, but she breaks just like a little girl, is like we all have within us, right? As much as we are maybe like not able to freely admit to it, we all have just that like scared little kid inside of us.
Okay.
Like it's I think just kind of a part of the human condition, right? Like you're going through some kind of like tragic or difficult part in your life, and you I feel like can really tap into just like the helplessness of being just, for me, a little boy.
Yeah. Inside
And
of you,
I-
there's a little kid that got wet willied a bunch. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
or not at all. And but I do think
Willie was the Willie myself.
I can't relate.
I wet his.
I hear you. I just do think like that emotion is best expressed about yourself and not so closely to she makes love like a woman. One more bar and she breaks just like a little girl. I'm like,
He makes love like a woman. Da, 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 da. That's not that important of me to say. Yeah, that was my low light too, for sure. Yeah.
okay.
Wow. Okay.
I
You have a
actually
low
like
light?
the song otherwise though, is the unfortunate part.
No, it's okay. Listen, I knew going into this that you guys were gonna talk shit, and that's fine.
This is such little shit, by the way. I could be doing so much more shit than what
Do it.
this.
Pop off.
No, I
Fuck
don't
you.
want to do that for this album.
No,
I like
do
this
it.
album. No, I've done it much more for other albums.
Hurt me, Michael.
Whoa. No wonder those kids bullied you.
Yeah. Did Ben, did you have a low light?
I did. I mean, and it's like, to me, Dylan is operating in this unique way where he did have singles. And this was also a time in music where they really were reliant on putting out singles. And I will say that it feels like a complete piece, the album, right? It's got cohesion to it. And I think on a whole, it's great. But when will I admit that there are times where if I'm like listening closely, like it's easy for me to maybe skip some songs? Yes, I will
Yeah.
admit that.
Yeah.
So I think, funny enough, Pledging My Time with
Yeah.
the long ass harmonica, that has always been a real skipper for me.
Agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just like, whereas I think some of the bluesier kind of like just like basic rock sound that you find throughout all of these songs really work for me. On this one, it's just not hitting.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a length issue with some of the choices made on this album. Like,
Well, he was signed to Columbia, and he kind of just they just let him do whatever the fuck he wanted because he just sold records.
Right. He went like gangbusters. Yeah.
So like that's why you kind of that's why you get 11-minute songs like the last song on the album.
I don't think I've gotten all the way through it in one sitting. Anytime I've listened to this album, I've been like, all right, that's enough. Pause. Like, let me do something else.
So this is
All
classic Dylan. He does this on a lot of his albums. So I don't know. I'll save this question actually for the end, but
all right.
I'll just say this. The last song in his albums are always really long, and they always are kind of like got this very like particular style of writing where it's like, and Napoleon is wearing a weird Joker's hat and he's riding a tricycle, and over there is Genghis Khan and he's playing.
This kind of sounds like spoilers for Joker 2, by the way. So please do not say any more.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. But he's always got this sort of kind of free associating weird imagery and collaging imagery, and it is again very dreamlike, and it's hard to parse exactly what he is trying to say, but he's just painting this incredible picture.
Yeah.
And so I will admit though, out of like all of the last song on the album, mad long songs, this one I think is another one of those like I can't really get all the way through. I maybe tap out at like minute 5, which is
I got about 5 for it.
I listened to the whole thing, but like I just didn't have enough time to like parse through everything. I just like kind of let it walk. It's like, especially after listening to like, it's been an hour and some of the songs are 6-7 minutes long, and like I'm ready to be over with this.
Speaking of which, let's get to our final thoughts and ratings of the album.
Let's do really quickly. Let's do any stray observations before we kind of
stray observations. You guys go first.
Okay.
I don't really have any that we haven't hit on. We talked about the length. We talked about the harmonica. We talked about the hair. Love it all.
Yeah. A little bit of like history actually. Because like like a little history about the song absolutely Sweet Marie. Nintendo actually commissioned the first draft of the song. Like Nintendo actually commissioned Bob to actually write a song for them called Absolutely Sweet Marie Oh. Yeah, so it's like, that's true, by the way. It's a real song.
That's amazing.
It's really cool.
Yeah, you don't I can tell by your faces you don't believe me, so I'm gonna like just show you.
Oh, are you playing it for us?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna
sweet.
I'm
Thank you.
gonna actually like play the song. So can you? All right, so. Yeah.
Oh, where are you tonight, Sweet Marie?
Yo. See? Tickle. So it's I'm Bob Dylan. This is a real song.
He really went electronic when he sold out.
Yeah.
Really
I can see why fans were so upset. It's like doesn't really like kind of against the spirit of like his old work, but yeah, I'm glad
he
like
sold out because he made a song for. I'm assuming Nintendo at that time was still just like a fucking card company, like a playing card company. Yeah,
it's real. It's a real song.
No, trust me. I know.
Yeah. So let's go through final thoughts and ratings. The way this works is
That's one of my favorite bits Andrew will do. It always makes me laugh.
What, insert Mario?
No,
into a
like,
song?
I need to share my screen to let you guys know something. And it's always in front of a guest that's like a bigger guest for us too, which is what really makes me laugh.
I love that. I love that you put in the work.
Yeah, that's what puts us over other podcasts. So some like a lesser podcast would go like, oh, they made a song called Absolutely Sweet Marie, and it's about Marie from Breaking Bad, and it's like, okay,
No,
okay,
you do. Yes, and you paid for that second class.
Yeah, that's right. So, anyways, the way this works is we'll rate this album out of 10 with a fun metric at the end. I really like this album. Like, I certainly need more time with it. It's certainly like, I feel like I didn't like content wise. I didn't do, even though this is a wonderful episode, I had a great time. I didn't really feel like, I feel like I could spend more and more years just like parsing through it and then like getting a little reward lyrically out of it. And then, I'd love to dive deeper into Bob. This is a great first impression. So I'm going to give it 8 poison headaches, but I feel all right out of 10. So yeah, there we go.
I'm going to go with Andrew here and say I agree. This definitely makes me want to dive more into Bob, which is exciting. And what I love from doing this podcast, I like when I hear an artist who I wouldn't tackle Bob Dylan. I don't have I know who Bob Dylan is.
He's so old. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't like Wet Willie him or
I
tackle
shouldn't
him.
tackle him. I shouldn't give a Wet Willie.
No,
exactly.
Don't
He
tackle
might die. Like
a legend like that.
Yeah, but I don't understand how to like get into an artist like that. So I love having like a guest who loves the album who can like talk us through it, especially after listening to it for a little bit. So I'm gonna give this album Rainy Day Women number 8 out of 10.
All right. And Ben, take us home. What do you got?
All right. So I was gonna ask if you guys think that you would try and listen to more Dylan based off of checking out this album. So I'm excited to hear that you're gonna maybe try and
Where should we go next after this?
Okay. So I'll say next, if you're looking for like some really gorgeous low-key folk music, Another Side of Bob Dylan is fantastic. If you're looking for a Johnny Cash, what do they call it in rap music where like a rapper guests on a track?
Feature?
Yeah. If you're looking for a Johnny Cash feature,
Oh, cool.
check out Nashville Skyline. What's also significant about that album is Dylan basically changes his voice. He just introduces like a new voice. New voice has dropped.
Wow.
It's great. And I would say to the similar kind of vibe to this one, Highway 61 Revisited, that has a song that features a slide whistle. Okay.
Sold. Like,
Yeah, that's all you need to know, the slide whistle. So, all right, what am I going to give this album out of 10? I'm going to give this album 9 leopard-skin pillbox hats out of 10.
wow. That's
Excellent.
amazing. Yeah, I was like letting you have that. I wasn't purposely not
I didn't
doing
want
that
to take it either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't take that. That's
Yeah,
mine.
yeah.
Those
Yeah.
hats are mine.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love this fucking record. I'll listen to it for the rest of my life.
Language. Just like
I've been
but yeah,
dropping fucks this whole episode, Andrew. You're now all of a sudden taking offense.
Yeah,
It's past 9 p.m., Ben.
yeah.
For
in
you,
Chicago,
it's
yeah,
10,
for sure.
friggin' 10 around here.
Oh, okay. Now we're at Nick at Night territory. We can swear now. So.
9 to 10 is.
You have to put your kids to sleep, and then afterwards you can.
Yeah,
you
we can
cuss
listen
all
to
you
the,
like.
I can put on my record of a comedian saying naughty jokes and laugh with my adult friends while my kids look at me from upstairs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you
Okay.
could do. So yeah, thank you so much, Ben. This is so incredible. Like I keep like sometimes oh yeah, this is the guy I've listened to like for the last 4 years on like Blank Check. It was so it's like really what a fulfilling thing to like have you on and like enjoy your company. Thank you for shouting us out on your show also, like the Blank Check special features.
You're
you
welcome.
actually you shout out our show, although you did like get the name of the show wrong. You called it you called it I've been meaning to listen to, so it's like I've been meaning to listen
But
to that.
that's enough that people will find it. So
Yeah,
you're almost
for
there.
sure.
Yeah.
Like, but I will like stipulate though, like the next time you're on, like you're recording an episode, and the guest is like saying a really important point, you should go something like, "Hey guys, there's something been really weighing on my conscience lately. I messed up the name of this podcast. It's called I've been meaning to listen to that. I forgot that, and I'm sorry. And sorry. What were you gonna say?" And then you yeah, you do that. So
Andrew, have you
especially
been scripting
here,
blank
let me
check
try.
lately?
Let me try.
yeah.
Hey, guys, I just wanted to say here at the end of the episode, I'm really sorry. I feel like this has been kind of weighing heavily on me. Truly, like, and I mean this, like,
Mhm.
it's been weighing heavily on me pretty much like, I don't know, when was the last time I was here?
It was like in May or something. May 2023.
Yeah. So it's been a while. Wow, it's been like over a year. And yet I've been thinking about this almost every single day,
Mm-hmm.
you
This is
know?
good, by the
Yeah.
way, so far.
And so I just want to say that I'm really sorry that when I was promoting that my appearance on the show on Blank Check's
Special features.
Patreon,
Yeah, it
special
was
features.
on the paywalled episode. Mhm.
And I, mentioned that I had been a guest on the show, that I had said I've been meaning to listen to
Instead of
I've been meaning to listen to Trat.
Oh, so close.
God
You have to
damn it.
start over.
Yeah. So yeah, like make sure to say that in front of like if like a guest is
Yeah. Hey, Tom Cruise, shut
bigger
up.
the
Shut up,
guest,
Tom
like-
Cruise. Tom
yeah,
Cruise,
the
shut
bigger
up.
the guest, the like
Tom
yeah,
Cruise. Yeah, right. We're gonna fucking land Tom Cruise.
he's gonna do a back paywall episode. He's gonna do your
Yeah.
tabletop
I would-
It's
games.
gonna be on the Patreon.
I would love for him to jump on and do fucking commentary on like, fucking a Transformers movie or something.
Beetlejuice.
I love movies. It's great.
Oh man, Optimus Prime, he's cool.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know why I made
good
him
guy.
Southern.
Good guy. But yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyway, I just decided I also wanted to apologize, and I really mean this.
no,
It's something that's been weighing heavily on me since the beginning of the episode.
Okay.
I'm really sorry that I started off by saying you struck me as kind of a Bing guy. I don't know where I was coming from with that, because that doesn't mean anything. And you know what? It actually is apropos for this episode because it's sort of almost like a Dylan lyric.
Mhm.
But for
You
now,
strike me as kind of a Bing guy. You think he would say that in one of his songs?
yes.
Yeah, just like his I think final album. That's his final lyric of his final album. He's gonna say that.
If Dylan's listening to this, you can use that.
Yeah. We promise we won't let Willie or tackle you. But yeah, like
Andrew promises that.
but yeah, like Ben, what would you like to plug besides your apology?
Yeah, you can follow my apology. I'm going to start an account just for my apology. That's kind of a funny bit. Ben's apology.
Kind of a funny bit.
It's like,
That's a funny bit.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny bit. I just was repeating you.
Afro band.
You added kind of.
No, you said
That
kind
is-
of. Play the tape back.
Fuck, you're right. I did, but I felt like your context was different.
What? You think I gave it inflection or something?
That's a really
You
funny
were
bit.
kinda like,
I think it's great.
kind of. And I was like, that's kind of. Anyway,
Mhm.
we're getting
Okay, you know what,
way off.
Ben? Earlier when you said that's kind of a funny bit, and I said that's kind of a funny bit, I probably shouldn't have done that. I was being mean to my guests. I
Thank
apologize for that. In the
Thank
future,
you.
I will keep the same inflection when I repeat what my guests say.
I appreciate that. Hey, go to congratulations.com. That's CONGRATYOULATIONS.com.
Yeah, not the Crystalia website. So not
Is that his? fucking site?
Congratulations is like the podcast where he has.
No, but he doesn't own that. I looked it up and some
Oh yeah.
fucker tried asking for fucking thousands of dollars for it. So
Well, it does make it more unique. It does make it like more like specific, like your thing. So
yeah,
yeah.
I'm glad you reminded me that Crystalia has a podcast called Congratulations.
Oh, so funny.
I'm
Like,
really-
makes me laugh and laugh.
I'm really glad that you reminded me of that.
Just like a
Speaking
woman's
of-
favorite song. Also,
Yeah, he actually loves that song.
Hey, Tom Cruise, Crystalia, shut up. I need to do an apology on the episode. I'm glad you both were able to make it for this episode. By
We
the way,
would
guys.
literally never have Crystalia on the show.
Of course, of course.
Of course.
But I think you guys should have him on.
Yeah.
Thoughts.
He's on our Dua Lipa episode. He's like,
Yeah, we're not even doing music. We're just hearing his cool opinions
yeah.
on his episode.
Oh, so yeah, listen to Blank Check with Griffin and
Yeah.
David. It's one of the greatest shows out there.
Oh, go to Spotify, type in Slow Christmas. I have a bunch of Christmas albums that I put out every year annually. It's got some really cool artists who've participated in the past. I had Sadie from Speedy Ortiz, her solo project Sat 13. She did a song. I got a new one coming out later this year. Got some really cool ass people involved. So yeah, stay tuned for more Slow Christmas.
Fantastic.
Okay, that's it. Now my plug is done.
Yep. And you can follow the show at IBMT LTT on all platforms. You could follow Michael at Lemon Taco on all platforms. Harper at Harping About on all platforms. Stenley at Snap a Sten on all platforms. Me at Andrew Ambrose Lee on everywhere. And you could the cover art is by Megan Rika Young. The theme songs by Otness. Follow our Patreon coming soon. I've been meaning to watch that. We cover movies. And
What?
yeah.
Mhm.
That's right. We cover directors and their filmographies and stuff, and then our Patreon has a Patreon page where we cover like franchises and stuff, so it's really interesting. Ninja Turtles, we're doing that. So yeah, you can follow the show. Oh, he's
Good
very
luck.
still. Yeah, come buddy.
The Patreon.
Good luck.
Oh no,
I wish you the best.
he looks like the mannequin in his like background
I'm
picture.
scared.
All right. Thank you so much. We love you, Ben. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Click.